Hey guys, Philip here, and I am back with another video. Well, I was looking through my sample box that I just got a few days ago. There's a video on that. Link will be in the description below. I went through the contents and I found this hashtag WhyIVape. And I looked it up what it was, and it was basically a story of why you started vaping. You know, if you changed from cigarettes to vaping, or something else happened. So I'm going to share my story, and it's pretty quick, pretty simple, but I thought I'd do it anyways. And here we go. So back in, I would say, around 18 months ago, 19 months ago, yeah, around that time, I think 19 months ago, we found out, me and my girlfriend, that we were having a little baby boy. We didn't know it was a boy at that time, but we found out that we were having a baby. And being a teen, I was 16 at the time. No, I was 17 at the time, yeah. I was 17 at the time. Being a teenager, still in high school, that news is big, it's huge. And a lot of responsibility, a lot of growing up. Now, I've never been the person to, especially where I come from, the town I come from, where it's very drug oriented, not drug oriented, but there's a lot of drugs going around, especially in the schools, especially in all that. There's a lot of drugs, a lot of alcohol, a lot of drinking, a lot of partying. I've never been that kind of person I've been out, go and party, have fun, but I've always been like the designated driver. I've always been, the person that is the calm one and, controls the situation. Never been the person to try drugs or anything like that. And now that, and by the time I started vaping, I was still 17, which I can say that now because I'm 18, so whatever. But I mean, I got one of my first ever e-cigs I got was a Mystic, little thing that you pick up at Walmart. And I had my friend buy it for me because he was 18 at the time, and he bought it for me. And I started vaping because it was a lot of stress on me. I had to change my whole lifestyle, to change my future. Not that much, and it wasn't a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. Now I look back on it, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm very glad who I am today because of that. And I love my little baby boy, to the ends of the earth. I don't regret it one bit. If I went back in time, I wouldn't change it. I would keep it the exact same. But you have to understand, it was very hard and very challenging to get through. And now that he's almost 9 months in a few days, yeah, on the 19th he'll be 9 months, and it's a lot easier now. But at the time, it was very hard on me, still being in high school, still being a junior in high school, and saying, oh no, I still have another year to go, and another year of having to go from not only surviving school, which is hard as it is for a lot of people. It's hard for me, especially in some subjects, I just don't get. But now I have to take care of a baby, and I have to step up, and I have to be the dad. So what happened was I just said, you know what, I'm not gonna do drugs. I'm not gonna do any of that because I've never found myself that I needed to. So I was like, maybe smoking, maybe smoking a cigarette will just take my mind off things. I smoked like 2 cigarettes, and that's all I've ever smoked is like 2-3 cigarettes maybe, and I hated it. I just coughed up a lung, and just it sucked. I didn't enjoy it at all. And my friend came up to me, and he was all like, there's a different alternative, there's another alternative to smoking. It's called vaping. And I was like, that sounds kind of, weird, and I don't know if I like that. So he picked me up a starter pack, a Mystic starter pack, and I started vaping on it, and I loved it. It was awesome. I could take it wherever I wanted, and I could use it whenever, and all that. And then I started getting into the the little pens. I think I had a little I think it was an Anakin, a little very starter one, smaller than heck. And then from there I went even more, and I got an EVOD. And I still have the box for the EVOD. I got another one. I don't know what it was, but it was a little brass, just variable voltage, little one. I always had Kangers and stuff like that. And being me, I always wanted the top of the line. I always strove for that one higher. What's the best I can get in this? Because when I started vaping, a lot of my friends started vaping. And, I don't want to say it was because of me, but I was the first one to start buying a lot and start buying the vapor and start, buying the liquid and buying the products, the good products. And my old products I give to my friends, and they start vaping, and, it became like a subject to us, and looking back on it, it was okay, but at the same time, it was really bad because we were in school doing it, and you're not supposed to do that. It's not supposed to happen. So looking back on it, we could have taken it a whole different way, and we could have just kept it out of school. But back then we were stupid, we were younger, and we didn't know what was going on. We just wanted to get the vape. So anyways, what we did was I went to this one place in Los Lunas, New Mexico. If you've never heard of it, it's a little village south of Albuquerque, but north of my town. And we went to this one place, and they had RDA for sale. And I looked at it, and I was like, "What is this?" It was like I don't even remember the name of it, but it was not what RDAs are today. It was very flimsy and very, they didn't even, cotton wasn't even really a big thing on it. They said that wicking it with silica was better than wicking it with cotton. So it was completely different than what we have today. But today, here I am, the little evolution. I'm on a dark horse with a Panzer on it, and I look back and wow, I went through my stuff the other day, and I found the Mystic box, and it still had the charger in it. Didn't have any of the battery or any of the little cartomizers or anything, but it had the battery, and I looked at it, I was like, wow, that's crazy. I went from this little thing to this big bulky thing, and now I'm really into cloud chasing and all that. And looking back on it, I could have started doing cigarettes, I could have started doing drugs, but compared to where I am today, I can still do sports. I can still, do whatever I want to do. And, I have a bigger build. I'm a bigger builded person, but I can run. I can, do all that, especially in practice. When I'm in practice, we have to sprint for the warm-ups, and we have to do all that. And, I remember one of the times I smoked cigarettes was right before practice, and I was really nervous, and that's why I smoked it that day, because it was for like a placement for the season or something. And I remember running, and I just coughed up a lung, and it really sucked, and I was wheezing. Now I vape every day, all day. I go through a bottle of, let's see, what am I, one of these, the Chicago. If you guys didn't see my Zample box review, go and check it out. This was one of my favorites. It wasn't in my top 3, I don't think. It might have been, I don't remember, I'll have to check, but I don't think it was. But that's what I'm vaping on right now, and I go through a bottle this size. This is 15 milliliters. I go through a bottle for this in about 4 to 5 days, if I'm just using this flavor. But so that's how much I vape, and it's not affected me at all, actually. I'm getting better at the sport I'm in. I can still run, I can still exercise. It hasn't affected me. Now bear in mind, I've heard a lot of people say that they're allergic to PG. So what I did is, and I've actually heard is better for cloud chasing, which is what I'm really into. I'm really into the clouds. I'm really into that. This build that I'm having right now, it's not really a cloud build. It's just a dual micro build with a dragon wicking method. Not that much vapor production. Don't get me wrong. For an RDA, it's plenty vapor, but not for like the cloud chasing type. But that's just what it's in right now. If I wanted to do a dual parallel, that would be, I could do it like that, and I could do my cloud chasing. But I still remember having that Mystic pen, or not the pen, but the Mystic, the little Walmart, you know, e-cig that lit up in the front and made you feel all cool and all that. And, you know, taking a long drag, and all the little vapor that came out, the such small vapor production in that. And I thought I was like the cloud chasing master, you know. And I look back on that today, and I was dumb and young and thought I could do whatever. And, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm not the biggest cloud producer, you know, ever. In fact, one of my friends that lives in California right now, his name is Joseph. I'm gonna leave his last name off the record because for his private, you know, stuff. But his name is Joseph, and I just look on his Instagram. He just has clouds, man, and it's awesome. He's coming down eventually. I hope he is. And he said if he does come down, he's gonna teach me some stuff, and that's gonna be awesome, because what he builds is just, I try and build what he builds, and it is just not the same as what I see on his pictures. He has clouds going from head to toe, literally. It is amazing. So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I'm the best in any means. I'm just saying from where I was when I first started, when I first bought that little Mystic, it is completely changed. And I still have my lungs, and I have asthma, you know, so it would have affected me greatly if I stuck with cigarettes, but it really didn't affect me. And don't get me wrong, I still take really big precautions, especially now that I have a son. I don't a lot of people say don't smoke around the kids, especially babies and all that. And, you know, with e-cigs, it's not that big of a risk, but it's just my personal value and moral. I don't vape around him. When he's in the other room, when he's asleep in the other room, I'll come in here, I'll turn on the fan, you know, open all the air up, and, you know, of course I can't blow those big clouds because the vapor's going everywhere, but, you know, this just to get my nicotine, you know, all that. As soon as he comes in here, I stop vaping, and that's just my personal morals. I'm not trying to sound like I'm better than anyone, but, you know, I still take the safety precautions, and I encourage you to do too. If you have sons and daughters, you know, if you have kids of your own, especially at their younger ages, you know, just don't take the risk. You know, I know they're saying that, oh, there's no risk, it's fine, you know, but just, you know, just in case, you know, e-cigs haven't been around as long as cigarettes so we find out what's good about them, what's bad about them, what are the effects, you know, the long-term effects. Just, you know, just in case, you know, just don't try not to, is what I'm saying. Just try not to. When he's in the car, I don't vape. When I drop him off, then I'll pull it out. But, you know, that's my story, guys. I think I picked a better road for vaping. I think I picked a safer road. I could have gone down a much worse path, especially with drugs. Because, you know, I'm not the type of person to judge, but I had a lot of friends that did drugs, and I didn't judge them. They went and did their thing, you know, just, you know, if they asked me, I said no. They respected that, and, you know, I respected them for that. But it was so easy for me to get into drugs, and you know, I chose not to. I chose to go with a much safer path, you know, with e-cigs and mods, and, you know, just vaping in general. And I'm very glad I did, and it hasn't affected me as much as cigarettes and drugs would. Look, I'm only 18, you know. I know there's older people going, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. But if you're smoking cigarettes, my uncle smokes cigarettes, a few of them do, and I kind of wanted to give them, you know, some e-cigs, you know, just to start them off, because, you know, I see them and they're always coughing, and their breath always smells and all that, and there's a safer route to go. So that's what I chose, and yeah, so I hope you guys like this video, and that is #WhyIVape.